Hello, I hope you're keeping well. My name's Anton Browne, and I'd like to tell you what I have to offer regarding singing and music tuition. Before I do that, I should mention that my teaching and performing CVs are available to download from my website. I'll put a link below. But I figure I may as well just tell you, seeing as you're here. I've been teaching at the Brit School since it opened, so that's about 30 years now. I released a couple of singing exercise CDs many years ago. They were the first of their kind, I believe, in this country, whereby they kind of had a groove going on for you to do your exercises too, called The Sing Thing, and they're available free now on thesingthing.com. I was professor of jazz voice for a number of years at Trinity, which is now Trinity Le Bon, so a conservatoire. I've done masterclasses for the Royal Academy, also for British Voice Association and ICMP in Kilburn. I've taught at ACM in Guildford, also Goldsmiths College. I co-wrote popular music singing grades for the London College of Music, and they were the first of their kind. Up until then it would have been musical theatre or classical grades, so they were the first pop singing grades. So I co-wrote those with Tony Skinner back in the day. I was a vocal coach on the BBC TV's The Voice on tour, the first Series 1. I rewrote the singing component of the degree course for the Academy of Music and Sound, which they have in their various colleges. I taught at Roehampton University, taught for a couple of years at ELAM, East London Arts and Music, and I'm still at the Brit today. My musical history goes as follows. Piano lessons from an early age, moved on to violin, grade 4, then went back to piano to grade 6, music O-level, and then round about my teens I got into guitar, which I learnt myself, and then on to music A-level, which didn't go so well. I was in various bands in my teens, playing guitar and songwriting, and I added bass and various other instruments so I could demo the songs myself and take them, get an idea how they'd work when I take them to the band. At that stage I didn't sing. The bands broke up and I decided to see if I could sing my songs because I wanted to demo them and take them to publishers. Started singing, thought this is going to be very useful if I can sing and demo my own songs. So I went to Goldsmiths and did an evening class there of singing. Did that for some years and then decided to take it more seriously, and I managed to get into the Guildhall School of Music and Drama as a postgraduate course as a mature student, and really got into the singing from there. I've done all sorts of gigs. Early ones were as a singer-pianist, because obviously that's very easy to accommodate. So I was doing that in the early days. I then went on to work with bands. It tended to be jazz. I'd often play instruments as well. I then joined a big band. For 20 years I was with them whilst doing other gigs as well around about. So we did one of the busiest big bands actually in the country. And then I joined a team at Bateau London on the Thames cruises and eventually became one of the musical directors. So I'd be singing, but also sometimes playing the piano, but also running the gig, liaising with the management and also the singers and the other musicians. So that's been my performing experience. What do I have to offer you then? Well, obviously singing and singing technique. I call it pop, for want of a better word. I don't do musical theatre and I don't do classical, but if you're a musical theatre or a classical singer and you want to learn pop styles, then I do that. So I do a lot of the stuff, the blending, mixing, screaming, rock stuff, soul. I've got a load of stuff you can download and try out on thesingthing.com. Various exercises. I've got things about high notes, low notes, improvisation, riffing and running, along with the 2 Sing Thing exercise CDs, which I've now done videos on as well. So hopefully it'll be very clear. That's all on the website. You can have a look at that if you wish. In terms of my own singing, you want to see whether all this stuff I do, whether it actually works. Does it work for me? Well, you can have a look on my YouTube playlist. If you look at Anton's covers, probably the best one to go to, and you can just have a listen if you feel like it, and see whether I practice what I preach. Songwriting. Over the years, you can imagine I've played thousands of songs with students, and being a musician, I absorb the songs and the way the chords move. Think, oh, that's interesting, that's nice. Da, da, da. And also, I've sung in the big band and the jazz arena some of the best songs ever written from the American Songbook. Really classy stuff, the way those songs move. So I've absorbed a lot of that stuff. Again, if you look at Anton's originals, you can see some of the songs that I've written. So you can have a look at that. Bear in mind, with my songs, they're very much involved with the music, the instrumentation, and the rhythm. So that's all part of the song for me, not just a melody and some chords. That's the way I do it. Guitar, bass, and keyboards. I would say guitar, bass, and keyboards for songwriters. Not if you want to learn technique and take grades on those instruments, but if you want those instruments to support your songwriting, then I have something to offer you there. I know my chords, I know their function, and I can show you how to play them on guitar or piano, or maybe with the bass. Maybe you want a pedal bass, or maybe you want inversions with a different root note, that kind of thing. So I can show you that, rather than if you want to take grades and so on. I wouldn't do that. Demo recording techniques. As you can see, if you look at my originals, I did those in this room here with a laptop audio interface. I use Cakewalk as a DAW, but they're all similar. Some of the tracks I sent to Brazil and Portugal to have musicians in that country play on them and send them back, and then I'd integrate them into the DAW. So I can give you some advice and help on that aspect. Summing up then, obviously singing technique, but I would say to you, if you sing songs, so why not sing your own? And if you write songs, why not sing them yourself and work on your singing? Why not play some of the instruments, maybe? So if you see what I'm saying, I like to work with people that do all this kind of thing. Singing's fine as one thing, but as soon as you start writing, why not write? If maybe you're a singer who doesn't play an instrument, well, I can show you some basic chords on the piano and start to get you to hear and think, well, maybe you can come up with something. Finally, then, if you write songs and you sing them, particularly now, 2021, what are you going to do with them? Presumably, put them online somewhere. So you can see that this all ties in together, really, with putting something out there. I like to work with all those musical aspects to bring them together to fruition as a finished thing, somewhere on the web, quite possibly. Anyway, I hope that's been informative, and I'll be seeing you. Keep well.